Und hier bin ich raus, ne? Ach ja.
Look lively! It's on to us! Back, demon! Back! Bloody leech!
Ups, war falsch. Komm schon.
I shall fear no evil.
Boah, Kaffee? Doch, Kaffee muss sein. Ich habe sogar direkt den Vollautomaten hier stehen. Wo war jetzt der Kram, den die verloren haben? Ja. Hier, das, ah ne, die Skulls hast du ja eben schon gesehen, ne? Wo ich 1000-mal gestorben bin. Haben wir hier noch was Tolles? Nein.
Put an end to you!
Ist man das nicht meistens als Held? Die Müllabfuhr? Weil man macht eigentlich jeden Scheiß. Der kommt. Aber welches ist jetzt das blöde Anwesen von dem Gott? Ist das hier? Sieht mir auf jeden Fall danach aus.
Dawson's mansion. Here I am at last. But the question remains. Am I ready to make a dying man my progeny?
Dem scheint aber echt gut hier zu gehen. Ich weiß nicht, was ich machen soll. Also, die Sache ist die. Dieser Dawson ist ein alter Knacker. Und nicht gerade von der lieben Hallo, ich bin der Opa-Art. Sondern ihm mocht das, was ich will. Ich bin reich, ich mache, was ich will. Bisher. So wie es scheint. So, die Sache ist, die Alte, die uns hilft. Die Alte, die uns hilft, ist einfach der Meinung, er sollte eher sterben. Und der Escalon Club sagt, wir sollen ihn verwandeln. Ja, da musste ich auch gerade dran denken, ich habe einen echten Hasen für dich. Naja, man weiß es nicht. Also, der lebt ziemlich zurückgezogen. Wer weiß, was er für einen Fetisch hat. Aber er macht halt das, was er will. Der will sogar die untere Schicht von London, also von London will der mit einer Mauer umziehen. Also er will die DDR gründen, regelrecht in London. Und die Armen, die Obdachlosen halt komplett wegschaffen. Die sollen ausgegrenzt sein oder eingeschlossen. Ich weiß jetzt nicht. Auf jeden Fall irgendwie eine riesige Mauer rum. Dass die Armen nicht ins West End kommen zu den Gehobeneren. Was natürlich schon ziemlich arschig ist. Allerdings hat er wohl auch den Streik beendet von der Polizei, so wie es schien. Ich glaube, ich gehe nochmal raus und suche nochmal ein paar Leute. Mal gucken, ob wir hier noch jemanden rumlaufen haben. Na, schlägt hier irgendwo noch ein Herz? Ach so, scheiße, ich bin wieder in Whitechapel. Ja, das bringt mir nicht viel. Das bringt mir absolut nicht viel. Also wieder zurück. Kriegen wir das Ding kaputt, um aufzumachen? Nein. Den haben wir schon gefragt. Die haben wir, glaube ich, auch schon gefragt, oder?
Good evening, Miss Price.
Ja, Hammer. Aber...
Do you need my medical attention, Miss Price?
Oh, yes,
I'm just doing my job.
Perhaps. But I have always been grateful for your concern, you know.
Goodbye for now, Miss Price.
Aber ich weiß nicht, ob das überhaupt meine Meinung ändert, wenn ich jetzt hier die Leute befrage. Weil für mich ist der Typ einfach nur ein Arsch. Allerdings ist er die Stütze von der ganzen Gegend hier. Das heißt, wenn ich ihn nachher weglutsche... Ja... Ups. Das ist so geil. Da stehen Wachen, 2 Meter weiter stehen die ganzen Viecher. Ja, habe ich auch gesehen, aber da komme ich nur von drinnen dran. Und die Tür war verschlossen. Ups. Zu der alten komme ich einfach nicht, weil es zu ist.
Good evening, Miss Teasdale. How have you been since you returned home?
Dr. Reed. Oh, thank God you returned safely from these awful streets. I was so worried about my father that I left without thanking you properly.
Please don't mention it, miss.
Good. I found him, you know. My dad. Or what was left of him. I think my abductor intended to do the same thing to me.
Do you need my medical attention, miss?
I don't need your help, specifically. I can assure you there are many competent doctors around.
I have no doubt about it, but I'm offering you my help anyway.
All right then. But please leave me alone for now.
What do you do for a living, Miss Teasdale?
Before my kidnapping, I was a waitress in a pub. Now I'm unemployed.
Were you fired?
No. It's just that after my recent experience, I don't feel like I can go back to my normal life. I need to do something useful.
Be very careful, Miss Teasdale. You were lucky to escape death once, but vampires lurk everywhere.
You killed my kidnapper by yourself, didn't you? No offense, Doctor, but you're just a doctor. I don't see why I couldn't do the same.
Ja.
What do you intend to do?
Dad always told me, Louise, if you want something, don't stop until you have it. I did my research and I found it. Ichabod Throgmorton, professional vampire hunter. I'll be his apprentice.
Oh Mann.
What can you tell me about this area?
I've never really liked this part of town. It was where my father wanted to live. I won't remain here much longer.
What exactly don't you like about it?
People here are contemptuous and elitist. My dad always said, Louise, always treat people like you want them to treat you.
Entschuldigung, ich konnte es nicht mehr zurückhalten. Ah, verdammt.
Louise, tell me what you really think about your father's sacrifice to save you.
I'm proud he went after me. I forgive him all his harsh words, all his bloody attitudes. I only wish I could tell him how much I loved him.
Yes. It can be traumatic, not having the chance to say goodbye to those we love.
Yes, Doctor. And there's no treatment for that type of pain, isn't that right? That may be the last thing my father taught me.
You seem to cherish your father a great deal.
Dad was the best. He kept an eye on me, but let me make my own mistakes. Louise used to say, mistakes are the best teacher. You would have liked him.
I'm sorry you didn't have the opportunity to say goodbye.
That's all right. He's buried in consecrated ground now. Nothing bad can happen to him.
Goodbye, Miss Teasdale. And be careful. Until we meet again.
It's always been your house, Dad.
Women's right to
Not
vote
mine.
is only the first step.
Good evening, Miss Ashbury.
And good evening to you, Dr. Reed.
What do you know about Aloysius Dawson?
That man is a tyrant. The embodiment of greed and selfishness. All I despise about this country.
Okay. Ziemlich eindeutig.
Goodbye, Charlotte. Give my best regards to your mother when you see her.
She's been quite busy these last few nights. I suspect you may see her before me.
Someone you know. Even someone you're close to.
Good evening, old chap. Are you all right?
I won't lie to you, Johnny. I'm not a well man.
What can you tell me about Aloysius Dawson?
Well, I've discovered he's quite versed in occult knowledge. So I wrote him a letter asking him to finance my research about vampires. He never responded.
Okay, die Übersetzung war irgendwie ganz anders.
You need some rest, Clarence. You should try to sleep.
Wo hat der noch mal gewohnt? Ich glaube hier, ne? Ja, hier war seine Frau. Oh, war der krank? Habe ich jetzt gar nicht drauf geachtet. Ah, sie ist aber. Gehen wir mal rein.
Hello, Venus.
Hello, Jonathan. Please, come in. I remember when Mary came here with her husband and her son. What do you need from me, Jonathan?
What can you tell me about Aloysius Dawson?
I never met the man. I know Clarence tried to contact him recently, but I don't know why.
Do you need my medical attention?
It would appear that old habits die hard, my dear. I would appreciate your help as always.
And I'm happy to give it to you, as always.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Goodbye for now.
I'm so sorry for your loss, Jonathan.
Gibt's wieder was zum Ausräumen? Nö. Oh doch. Ich könnte eigentlich mal schnell... gucken, ob ich wieder auf die Mütze kriege. So, das war Nummer 1. Ja. Verdammt. Komm schon. Okay, ich muss es anders versuchen. Zielen. Das war die Fette. Komm schon. Der ist einfach echt schwer, der Kerl. An dem hänge ich jetzt schon seit... Ewigkeiten. Ich muss echt mal, wenn ich umgezogen bin, den Schreibtisch festschrauben. Das nervt. Wo bin ich? Ach so. Oh, hier, den kann ich auch noch mal nach dem Typen fragen.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. A great night, what?
Do you know anything about a man called Aloysius Dawson?
He used to be a big spender. One day, he sent 3 houseboys to buy all the beluga in my shop. For his brother's birthday, if I remember correctly.
I see. Anything else? Less gastronomic, perhaps?
I really can't say. The man is filthy rich. But you know that, of course.
Goodbye, Mr. Russell. I'm sure you'll take care of yourself.
Eigentlich ist er nur großzügig, besonders toll, sag ich mal, wenn es um seine Interessen geht, oder? Muss ich die eigentlich jetzt alle nochmal befragen? Nein.
You need some rest.
Gut, ich versuche den Einbubbele dann nochmal fertig zu machen. Ich brauche Blut, also ich nehme diesen hier. dann auf ein neues. Die Knarre war gut, ne? Geschafft. Endlich. Hm? Wo ist? Also, das war's. Hier gibt's nichts mehr.
Waiting for you to let your guard down.
Women of all countries unite!
Good evening, Miss Ashbury.
And good evening to you, Dr. Reed.
I have found out what happened to your friend, Emily.
I can handle the truth. There's no need to hide the bloody details.
Your friend was planning to become a vampire. She thought she'd met an honest one and made a deal with him. Unfortunately, Emily did not survive the process.
My mother told me many times about the risks of being turned. I often suspected she exaggerated the danger to avoid me being tempted.
No, the risk is real. Have you any idea what a body has to endure? To become an organism entirely consumed by its need to process and recombine blood?
I should never have talked to Emily about vampires. I never thought she'd actually try it without me. Thank you, sir. Here, take this for your discretion.
Charlottes Flock. Ist der besser?
Goodbye, Charlotte. Give my best regards to your mother when you see her.
She's been quite busy these last few nights. I suspect you may see her before me.
Direkt mal gucken. 44, aber... Wer weiß, wie hoch der noch geht. Ist auf jeden Fall mal wert. Dem habe ich gesprochen. Der Alten. Wen gibt es denn hier noch? Ich weiß nicht, wo der ist. Ach, Kacke. Falscher Ort. Und wieder raus. Ach, mir reicht's. Ich habe mich ja eh schon entschieden, was ich mit dem Typen mache.
It's difficult to remember why we're here in the first place.
Good evening, sir. I am Dr. Jonathan Reed. Do you need my help?
Yes, please. Would you be kind enough to tell me what the time is?
That's all you need to know.
Well, is it not important to know? As important as where you are? Or who you are?
I suppose you're right. And who are you then, sir?
I am Agamemnon Baker. Like my brother, I think we need to leave this city immediately. And my brother and I rarely agree on anything.
What can you tell me about Aloysius Dawson?
You should ask that question to my brother instead. Personally, I've not seen Aloysius for many years.
May I ask what you're doing outside at this hour of night?
I don't know. You should ask my brother instead. It was his idea in the first place.
You must have your own ideas.
From what I have managed to understand, I guess we're supposed to wait here. Waiting for someone to come.
May I ask why you've not gone already, if you're so exasperated by this long wait?
I believe fear is holding us back. My brother would have said it's laziness, but it's just because he's prouder than I am.
What can you tell me about this part of town?
It's the only place I've considered myself happy. Or at least that's what I believe. Unfortunately, it's time to leave.
Why is that?
Because I'm not feeling happy here anymore. Are you?
What kind of question is that? What am I supposed to answer, exactly?
The truth. And I believe you just did it, actually.
What can you tell me about your brother?
He's older than me, I think. But the important thing is that I really hope I'll die before him. Grief would just kill me, you know?
Is that all?
Pericles is very attached to this city, and without my insistence, he would never leave this place. We don't often agree on anything, you see?
Who are you waiting for, exactly?
The more I think about it, the more I believe it's not exactly a person we are waiting for.
But what else could it be, then?
I don't know. A feeling? An event? An impulse? How can I tell? Something that would allow us to leave this trap.
Trap? And you think leaving London will free you?
At least it will give us the chance to be free. That's more than our present situation. Hope, Doctor. Hope is what truly drives mankind.
I'm afraid I'm not following you. What kind of trap are you talking about?
Have you ever felt like life trapped you in a role that does not fit you? That you're not in your place? That sort of trap.
Do you need my medical attention, sir?
Indeed. I've never been good at explaining my feelings, but I can tell when my body is hurting me.
You have nothing to be worried about. You should recover by taking this.
Sounds so easy to fight disease. Too bad it's not the same making people smile again.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Baker.
Gut, wieder ein geheilt?
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. Can I be of assistance?
Dr. Reed? Dr. Reed?
Is there anything wrong?
No, it's just... your name sounds familiar. And your face. Have we met before?
I think I would remember. So I suppose the answer is no.
That's odd. I'm certain I've already heard of you. My name is Pericles Baker. Does that mean anything to you?
I'm afraid not, sir. But it's a pleasure to meet you anyway.
The pleasure is mine, I guess. I only wish I could remember when it was that we met.
Vielleicht im Krieg?
Do you need my medical attention, sir?
I'm afraid I do. I knew we should have left London.
I don't want to appear tactless, but you're risking your health by remaining outside at this hour of night.
Says the doctor who also works outside at night. But as always, the imprudent person enjoys the company of their fellows.
What can you tell me about Aloysius Dawson?
I've heard this is a man who has searched for his place in the world for a long time. I hope he found it.
Das kennen wir ja alle schon von seinem Bruder.
And what do you do, sir? For a living, that is.
I stopped working when I decided to leave. When I realized what I wanted. Wanted something this city can't provide.
But what were you doing before you took this decision?
Does it really matter anymore? Considering the past seems so pointless to me. I have lived in this city all my life. And now I think it's over.
Tell me more about why you want to leave London, then.
I just don't belong here anymore. I had to convince my brother to leave London because I know we need to find another life out of the city.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Baker. What are you doing out here in the middle of the night?
We are waiting. Waiting for someone.
And why are you waiting for this person?
Because we need to leave this city. As soon as possible.
Why do you want to leave the city?
I'm not really sure.
Pericles, tell me why your brother disagrees with your presence here.
Agamemnon is naive sometimes. Although don't consider him a fool, sir. He is often more lucid than me.
At least you both have the same difficulty explaining what you're doing, and for what reason.
But is that not a common problem for all mortals?
What can you tell me about your brother?
If you are searching for a pleasant chat, you should speak with him instead of wasting your time with me. He's always been the more gentle of us.
That's it? That's all you can tell me about him?
For the time being, true kindness is the most valuable quality, my good sir.
Hat ja recht.
Can you tell me anything about this district?
As you like asking questions so much, would you allow me to ask you one first?
Please, be my guest.
Do you like this city?
Die Stadt mögen. Nein.
No, I don't. I don't recognize it anymore. Or perhaps I just don't like it anymore, now that I've seen its true face.
I don't recognize it either. Or at least what it's become. Hate, violence, social disparity. And I am not talking about the criminality these days.
Goodbye, Mr. Baker.
Oh, hier unten.
It's locked, all right.
Wie komme ich da runter? Was war?
It's locked, all right.
Cards never lie, but they are never easy to read. Jonathan Reed. At last we meet. The cards warned me you would visit tonight.
I beg your pardon, sir. Do I know you?
Of course you do. Our mutual friend, Dr. Swansea, can't speak highly enough of you. My name is Usher. Usher Talltree.
You are the leader of the Brotherhood, are you not?
Primate of the Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole, to be precise. I'm really glad we met tonight. I love it when the cards tell me a truth.
The cards told you to expect me.
Yes, they tell me everything. They told me that you struggle hard not to take too many lives.
Is there anything you could tell me about Aloysius Dawson?
Aloysius Dawson. Yes, of course. We met on several occasions. With time, he got deeper and deeper into the occult.
He's not the only one. It's been quite the fashion for several decades. The Golden Dawn, for instance, is just one example.
True. Aloysius was a member of the Golden Dawn until 1900. Then his thirst for dark knowledge grew. I'm talking forbidden texts, readings which blackened his heart.
Oh, diese Fliegen. Die gehen mir um den Sack.
How do you measure the amount of blood on my hands?
I told you. The cards always tell the truth. Well, most of the time.
Is it possible to tell me my future?
A vampire's fate is much more delicate to read, Doctor. But I can try.
Nein, ich will's nicht wissen.
I would rather not know. How do you measure the amount of blood on my hands?
I told you.
Is it possible to tell?
A vampire's fate.
May I ask you about the Brotherhood?
Of course. But I must warn you that there are some subjects we consider taboo, in spite of our fondness and acceptance of your kind.
I know there is no love lost between the Guard of Priwen and the Brotherhood. What caused this rift?
It was 1801. The Brotherhood was stronger then, a strength that made them hungry for ever greater power. An argument divided them, and the wound never healed.
What was the nature of the disagreement?
The problem was that both sides considered themselves the legitimate heirs of the original Brotherhood. We divide up the books, the relics, not always fairly or with consideration.
Who founded the Brotherhood?
That's precisely the kind of question I cannot answer. It is delicate and may reveal some of our secret traditions.
So you're not just a club of academics and scholars?
Once upon a time, very long ago, the Brotherhood did more than simply study the vampires. They took actions to eliminate the more ferocious and corrupted.
Do you require medical attention?
If you don't mind.
You'll feel better after taking this.
Thank you very much. I feel better already.
Tell me about yourself. What do you do here, besides turning cards in the middle of the night?
I'm for most a charlatan. For a few, I'm a vampire. And for you, I'm the primate of St. Paul's Stow.
For how long have you been a primate?
It was 15 years last year.
What do you make of Dr. Swansea?
Edgar is a brilliant and dedicated man. A man of his time, sometimes a little muddled, but always looking for new paths and new concepts.
Some believe you to be a vampire. Who?
The Guard of Priwen, who else? For a time, they sent spies to observe my activities, and they even broke into my home to gather proof.
Did they steal anything from you?
A personal notebook they quickly took to their headquarters. All they had to do is to look at me. I'm aging. What better and definite proof that I'm not an immortal?
Do you want your notebook back?
If you ever find it, I'd be glad to have it back, of course. I do ask one thing, though. Do not read it, Jonathan. Some secrets are not meant to be revealed, even to immortals.
Oh, das wird schwer.
Goodbye, sir. Until we meet again.
I rarely wander. Yet it amuses me to converse with your kind. The Fool and the Empress. Again. What are the cards trying to tell us?
Aber was hat hier mit... Na, kann man die irgendwie bewegen? Ah, wir haben jetzt alles durch. Cool.
The Spanish flu is not the only hidden killer.
Ah, noch eine Mülltonne. Ach, schon wieder? Ernsthaft?
No good place for a stroll. You get down! Find one! Priwen shall prevail! Killing bastard! Go on back to the shadows!
Dumme Sau da. Ich glaube, der hier unten hat auch was verloren, oder? Nö.
Bloody monster!
Wo habe ich denn jetzt das? Bin ich hier lang? Zu dem Haus? Ich glaube, das hier war wieder... Ja, Whitechapel. Ach, genau, hier. Hier durch war er. Dann mal ein neuer Versuch. Ein bisschen rumschnüffeln ist natürlich auch gut.
It's locked.
Hinrichtung des John Francis Barrow. John Francis Barrow, 21, wurde heute Morgen in der Haftanstalt von Pentonville gehängt. Sparrow wurde zum Tode verurteilt, nachdem man ihn des Mordes an seiner Schwester Alexander Sparrow für schuldig gefunden hat. Bis zum Schluss beharrte der Mann auf seiner Unschuld. Vor Gericht wurde nicht ein einziger formeller Beweis für seine Anwesenheit am Tatort vorgelegt, aber er wurde trotzdem zum Tode verurteilt und hingerichtet. Scotland Yard weigert sich, den Fall neu aufzurollen, trotz vieler Lücken im Ablauf der Ereignisse, die letztendlich zu Miss Sparrows Tod führten. Charles Albright, der die Untersuchung für Scotland Yard durchführt, wollte keine unserer Fragen beantworten, aber vor 3 Wochen wurde er ohne offizielle Begründung degradiert. Welch seltsame Art einer effizienten Untersuchung zu belohnen. Ach.
Reduced in rank for falsely accusing a man of murder. I wonder what Inspector Albright thinks about his punishment.
Ja, da gehe ich aber später hin. Noch ein verschlossener Safe. Da kommen wir nicht rein.
Finally you're here, Dr. Reed. What took you so long?
I had to pass several of your barricades and outposts to access your mansion, sir.
Death, pestilence surround us, and time is against me.
I see you've gathered some of the most expensive, albeit experimental, blood transfusion equipment available. All this could be so useful in a hospital.
Yes, yes. Since Lord Redgrave sent me a doctor to perform my conversion, I thought you might find some of these devices useful.
Most thoughtful. But tonight I'm not here as a physician.
But I feel reassured that a specialist such as yourself would help me to escape the Reaper.
Very well. But before I proceed, I have a few questions for you.
If you must, but be quick, for I don't have much time left in this life.
First of all, I need to be sure that you know exactly what is going to happen to you, sir.
I can assure you I'm as informed as any man can be. I have planned for this moment, Dr. Reed. Planned very carefully.
Sir, I'm going to end your life. Do you not wish to discuss the procedure for even a minute?
I don't have a minute to indulge in idle chatter. I can't feel my legs. And the cold, so cold.
I will become your maker. Do you understand what that means?
Well, I certainly won't consider you my liege, or some such drivel. You can be assured of that.
You'll need to feed on warm blood. Blood from mortals. How do you feel about that?
I'm rich, Dr. Reed, and powerful. I'm sure I'll be able to acquire all the blood I need without ever having to sully my own hands.
What do you know about the Guard of Priwen?
What I do know is that I'll crush anyone or anything that would dare to oppose me.
Let's move on then.
Please, I'm cold and tired. I feel my life waning with every moment.
But first, before you embrace immortality, what would you do with such a gift?
That's a rather impertinent question, Dr. Reed, and I will do as I please.
Answer me all the same. What will your first action be as an immortal?
To save London. I will finance the most efficient quarantine ever seen. I will build a wall that will separate the sick boroughs from the healthy ones.
You really plan to build a quarantine wall across London?
Yes, it will be tall and strong, separating the wheat from the chaff.
Let me guess. You mean to isolate the rich from the poor?
This is a desperate measure for desperate times. England must prevail, Doctor, no matter the cost.
By doing so, you will also create 2 separate prisons.
Come, sir. An eminent doctor like yourself knows that such radical measures have proved efficient in the past.
Quarantine is not a bad idea, medically speaking. But I'm convinced this epidemic will not be contained by mere walls.
As long as the right people are on the right side of the wall, that's all that matters.
But you can't guarantee infection will not spread. Just one contagious carrier would be enough to create an apocalypse.
The apocalypse is already knocking at the gate. We must be strong now.
What if a new outbreak happens inside your walls? You'll have created a giant trap.
That won't happen. As long as we dispose of anyone that is contaminated as soon as they are spotted.
Das heißt, er will eine Mauer bauen und alle töten.
Who gave you the right to decide the fate of thousands of people?
My money. My money and my pending immortality gives me the needed authority, Doctor. I'm a businessman. I'm used to tough decisions.
I've heard enough. It's time to proceed.
At last. All right, do what you have to do. If it hurts, so be it. I've been preparing such a long time for this.
Ja, ich schmeiß alles runter. Super. Was mache ich denn jetzt? Der ist die Stütze von dem ganzen Kack. Das wird runterreißen. Ne, ich mache eine kurze Pause und überlege. Ich weiß nicht, was ich machen soll.